because of course the soul is completely biased. It wants us to live into our most actualized expression. It wants us to live our most expansive life. It wants us to live out our highest potential here. So when we listen to this very non-linear, often nonsensical path, it's like a direct secret path you couldn't see the way to getting to your highest expression faster than you could ever have imagined, and in probably the most creative and weird and magical way than you could have ever imagined. And the chaos that we have to get to in order to arrive to this place where you are embodying as the motherfucking copper rod, and everything that life throws at you becomes pure creative potential that you use to circulate in your being and keep creating the fucking masterpiece of your life. You're unstoppable. Hello, my loves. I am starting a at least 4.5 hour drive from the mountains in Colorado, the Rockies, down to Denver because I am going to an insane book launch event for an amazing book. You should absolutely read it. It's called The Limit Does Not Exist, from one of my favorite mentors. She's a fucking rock star, literally. And her events are for rock stars. And life has just danced together, woven things together to make this happen. I was not planning on doing this 2 days ago. And by all means, I shouldn't really be able to. I am in a long-term pet sitting in a small mountain town here, and I'm there for, it'll be like 2 months in total, but it just so happens that like everything has come together. I have this old blue pickup truck, I call her Old Blue, and a friend of theirs could watch the dog overnight, and it's just been one thing after another. I found a really sweet place to rent a room from this cute French guy who might not be into women, but still he's very cute and his house is amazing. And I'm even going to invite him to the event tonight because fuck it, why not? These events are life-changing. You go in calibrated one way, you leave calibrated another. That's why I'm driving almost 5 hours one way to go to this thing. Besides, it'll just be a fucking blast. But this is ecstatic living. Like, this isn't just something that's hard, right? This is, I talk a lot about moving towards your growth edges, even when there's resistance. With something like this, it's like, I know this is going to expand me. So, and I know it's going to be a fucking blast. So if I have to make some shit happen, not in a forcing, pushing way, but it's like a call and response. So I'm like, okay, this thing is landing on my lap. What's available for me? And I just kind of, I move my pawn in one direction, and I see how spirit moves spirit's pawn on the other side of the chess table. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is flowing, this is working, this is coming together. And it's a risk because I think we also get, I don't like to use the word tested, but that's how most people think of it, that you get tested by the universe. I think it's more like it's neutral. It's like a litmus test. Like you say you want something that's in an expanded version of how you've been, right? And then the universe responds. It's like, okay, here's the thing. How do you respond to it now? Do you respond to it from the current frequency or from the frequency that you're moving into, from the expanded frequency? And so it's not a test in some way that spirit's like trying to fuck with you. It's really neutral. It's just, okay, I'm going to bring this thing and you're going to decide if you really want this expansion, then you're going to respond to this from your expanded self. And that's what's actually going to manifest, to make tangible, to materialize, actualize that new frequency is your embodied action. So it's just the call and response dance. Spirit answers your prayer. Do you answer the prayer that you have by being this new person? And so one of those things that came up is it's been the mildest winter. It's been in the 50s at least the last week. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago the last time we had snow, and it was really beautiful. It snowed all day, but then within a couple days, it dries up. So it's been really mild winter, and then all of a sudden this starts coming together, and guess what fucking happens? There's 1 day of snow. And what can happen is, because I have to drive over several mountain passes, they can shut down the roads. And everybody here is like, there's a lot of caution, of course, about driving in high mountain passes with, as Zakers call it, with weather, when there's like actual weather going on. And so I really felt into it. Like, I'm not being an idiot. I have my, I have food, I have a blanket in the car. I'm prepared. But I'm also not just going off of other people's experiences or the worst case scenario. I'm going off of what it feels like in my body, even what it feels like in my heart, because sometimes your body can start clenching up when fear comes in, and then you can't even get a good read because the nervous system and previous experiences or whatever programs you have running there that's looping around fear can actually stop you from moving towards something that's going to be really good for you. So sometimes the body is actually really tricky. But in my heart, and it's just, the thing is, it's actually amazing, is I feel really calm. Like in the past, I would do things like this, and I would like get in a huge high about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's still things that can get me in a high, and I love being in a high. But this is amazing. It feels like I've really landed into, like, this is such the norm for me at this point, to know how to read all of these subtle signals, to watch when creation energy is pulling together a new experience, a new expansion for me, and to do the call and response dance. Natural to me now. It's so organic, it's second nature, that it's like I feel enlivened, but I'm not like on like a sympathetic nervous system response high. I'm just like, yeah, here's what it is. And I just decided, when I took in all the subtle cues and what's going on with me, it was like, okay, yeah, it's totally worth the risk. I'm looking at this eyes wide open. I'm completely lucidly awake in my body. I'm not like jumping out of my skin, which again, there's nothing wrong. I think being in a high can be great, but it's just like, yeah, I just feel super myself. So I'm signing up for the adventure. And the thing about this with ecstatic living is all of these little moments, it's a metaphor for life, right? We never have fucking control. Even when weather is not a part of it, anything could happen all the time. But we kid ourselves into thinking that we have assurance, so then we freak out less, or we worry less about doing something, and then suddenly a situation can come up where there's more risks that we're aware of, and then there's all this fucking mental circus going on. And every time we do this, it's just at the core level, energetically, we're saying, life, I see you. I choose you. I choose to dance with you, eyes, heart wide open, feet on the fucking ground, right? Like, I choose this. I choose to co-create with you. And when we open ourselves like this to life, that's how we tap into the field of infinite potential, limitless possibility, limitless creation energy. And when we stop trying to control and act like we know everything, and we're willing to, it's like a trust fall. I'm going to open up and let life remind me how fucking loved I am, how fucking connected I am, how alive I am, how free I am, how guided I am. Like, we all long to feel this kind of life and this kind of safety and this kind of love and belonging, but we're the only ones who can truly give it to ourselves in a sustainable way, and really in the core way. Like, we can start finding things externally in our life, like, now my business does this for me, and that's growing and growing and growing in that direction. A partnership can do this. Your friendship can do it. Your community. It's like, the more that you choose it for yourself in your direct relationship with life, the more that your external reality, the material world, can match you in that. But if you're trying to find it through any other direction first, things can get real tricky. Everyone has their own journey, but something that we all share is it's just you and you, truly, for your whole life. No one will ever be in your body. No one will ever fully understand your experience, and no one can ever give you that direct connection to to source, to spirit, to life, to creation energy. You got to give it to yourself, and everyone fucking wins. Everyone. All of your relations, everyone that you come in contact with. Like, I come into spaces and I'm like a quartz crystal that just like blows up the good fucking vibes because I'm choosing to live that way in my life. So no, I can't control all of the wars going on in the world, but god damn it, I can control being in the fullest expression of myself to such an ecstatic degree that it lights up everyone around me. I am in control of that, and everybody wins. I get to enjoy this one precious life that I have, and I get to enjoy the experience of seeing how that ripples out and makes people's days exponentially better. And so now I'm going to put myself in a room with someone who does this at like the nth degree, because that's the thing. You keep putting yourself in spaces where you're being stretched, where you're being expanded into your highest expression. Like my fullest expression, the most radiant, alive, authentic version of myself. It doesn't stop. I get to keep going for this, and I get to. And I get to put myself in rooms, in containers with the right people who naturally magnetize this, pull this out of me in this benevolent black hole kind of way. Like, it's inevitable that the best of me and a way more expanded version of me is going to come out when I put myself in these mentorships, when I put myself in these communities, when I put myself in these friendships, these relationships, these places on earth. So fuck yeah.
May I please have this dance? This is where opportunity meets chance, where purpose meets a plan. A new possibility, a new day. May I please have this dance? This is a new life, a new way. So, may I please have this dance?
I didn't expect to be filming from the car, but inspiration has struck, so here we are. That rhymed. Ooh, there's so much creation energy moving through right now. I'm getting so excited. I'm going to be compiling the whole video for, God, is it vlog 4 now? Vlog 4 or 5? Whatever the next one is, it's 4 or 5. After this inspired moment, I'm going to go back home and put together that whole vlog. And so I'm in the creative process right now, and it's so beautiful with the creative process to actually break it up. Like, I'll be in the zone writing or putting the film together, all the different things that I do, painting, dancing, but then to break that up with like stop and make a meal, or stop and the dancing is part of that, like stop and move your body. Right now I'm staying in a tiny home, and I'm feeding the farm animals on the land. So I'll stop and I go feed the animals. And so every time you kind of stop the creative process, what's amazing is it's like you pull away, but that part of your brain, the creative part of your brain, is still going. So you continue to get downloads. It's almost like, you need to walk away from the painting in order to have a different perspective. And then when you come back to it again, you have this whole other way of looking at it. So that's what started happening for me today. And I'm just at a really pivotal moment in this journey. So I started this vlog with my return back to seeing my family after 4 years of being in Peru. So I did a longer stint because I did get to see them technically for the first time after 3.5 years of being in Peru in the summer of 2025, because my brother got married, but it was like really quick. I was there for a week and it was in the middle of the wedding chaos and all the things. So I decided to go back and spend a longer stint of time to like really drop in and kind of get into a weekly rhythm of seeing my niece and my nephew, so I can actually build more of a relationship with them and my whole family. But I was really wanting to have that to nurture those relationships. So that's when this vlog all started, is at the end of that. I started it at the beginning of January, and I left Southern California, where I'm from, at the end of January. And I've been showing you the journey of having been called to the Colorado Rockies. So I was specifically called to this area. It's like a mix of things. And so I think what this video is really going to be about is soul language, like how we actually listen to these breadcrumbs that we're getting all the time. And that the more and more we equip ourselves with the wisdom of the celestial elders, with astrology, with astrocartography, the more that we're actually, it's like you're learning soul language. You're literally learning the language of archetypes and metaphor and symbolism, which is how the soul speaks. It's not linear. Like when you ask your soul for an answer, you don't get an equation. You don't get like a perfect, pretty little definition. You start getting signs and symbols and feelings and archetypal messages. And the more that you can learn how to interpret that language, the more you can catch the breadcrumbs and fucking go and give it your all. And of course, this is what helps build us the muscle for trust and for faith, because you need that, because in soul language, you are only shown little bits, right? I generally have like a longer term vision. I know where I'm going in a felt sense, in a general sense, and I get visions about it, but it's not a manual. It's more of a frequency, truly, with a little bit of visuals that I can attune myself to, so that as I'm walking this journey that is very nonlinear and very mysterious, I have this sense of like, is it plugging me into that energy? If it's not plugging me into that energy, then I know that's not where to go. That's not the path that I'm being guided on, because of course the soul is completely biased. It wants us to live into our most actualized expression. It wants us to live our most expansive life. It wants us to live out our highest potential here. So when we listen to this very non-linear, often nonsensical path, it's like a direct secret path you couldn't see the way to getting to your highest expression faster than you could ever have imagined, and in probably the most creative and weird and magical way than you could have ever imagined. So all that coming down to how this started to unfold. Like I had no desire to come to this place. A dear friend of mine is here. I'd love to see her, but it's not like I wanted to really, I didn't have a connection with this place. But the breadcrumbs started coming. So early December, she invited me to come see her here. And at that time, there was nothing clear about my next step. So I felt this like spark when she invited me, but it wasn't a clear, like, the kind of intuitive hit where you're like, it's go time. So I just kind of registered like, oh, that had a certain feeling. It had that frequency to it. But I also could tell that it's not pulling me there right now. So I just kind of acknowledged it, registered it, and let it go on the back burner. And then it was the first new moon of the year, the new moon in Capricorn, I think it was January 3rd, that it just like everything hit home. And I recognized, oh my God, that invitation is my breadcrumb for the next leg of this year-long soul pilgrimage that I will, like, at that point it was coming up to the end of the third quarter. So it's like opening up to the fourth quarter. It's like, this is the next leg. So this is also when I got the inspiration. It was like, oh, part of what my soul is asking me to do is in real time document this journey, to write about it, to create the vlog. And that's why I created the Exhibition of Ecstatic Living. And so this is week 12. This is week 12. So I've completed it. I've completed this 12-week exhibition, and it's all, except for the very beginning where I'm starting at the very end of my time in Southern California, it's all taken place in this fourth quarter of my soul pilgrimage that has been in the mountains of Colorado. And so, as you guys saw, I flew into Denver. As everything came together, I decided to take a train because I love trains. It's like feeding the muse as I'm taking this trip. So not just like getting from point A to B, it's like the whole thing is a fucking creative process. The whole thing, when I approach it from this level of soul language and as a creative act, it becomes something so much more than what I could have imagined. And it's also feeding the muse inside of me. It's feeding my creation energy so that I'm actually getting the continued supply of breadcrumbs to keep me going on the journey. So the train was a big part of that. It was such a beautiful train ride. So I took the train. I came to stay with my friend at her beautiful tiny home. That's actually where I'm at again now because she's not there. We'll get there later. I came and got to spend a few days with her, and then I immediately went into a creative retreat. So I spent 2.5 weeks in this stunning old, it's a remodeled cabin, but they kept the old wood burning stove in the living room. And that's actually how, for the most part, they heated the house. That's in my second vlog video. That place was just beautiful. Tiny town, like there's no store in town. Tiny, tiny, tiny. And there I really like went through a whole nervous system recalibration and integration of really the whole like first 3 quarters of this ecstatic living pilgrimage that I've been on, but also this, the time that I spent with my family and everything, to leave family for 4 years and come back, and especially for everything that I went through, like the exponential growth and reckoning with my shadows and transformation and awakening. Like I truly came back feeling like I lived 7 lifetimes, but then plugging back into the taproot that raised me. It's like, whoa, that was such a powerful, incredible, empowering, beautiful journey. So first 2.5 weeks here after seeing my friend was really integrating that and letting myself deepen into the Exhibition of Ecstatic Living, to really open up to this new chapter with my work that's all centered on creation energy. This whole thing is about like you being the creatrix of your life. And that's why I say it's like when you come into this work, you become a strategized creatrix, because you're leveraging and working with and co-creating with the celestial elders and celestial strategy to access more of creation energy in the unique way that it moves through you, so that you can fucking create your life, like the most epic life that you can imagine, to be the creatrix of your life. And it also empowers you to move through the inevitable growth edges, right? Because we're constantly moving into growth edges if we're interested in coming into our fullest potential in our life, right? You're constantly meeting that next edge that wants you. It's like, you want to get bigger, you're gonna have to stretch. So the celestial strategy really helps us to cognize and strategize with it. And the creation energy is what keeps us at the helm of the fucking ship. When we forget that we're creators is when all of the distractions and the numbing and the old excuses and the old patterns and like getting enmeshed with everyone else's bullshit limitations, that's when all that happens. The creation energy is front and center because that's what keeps you at the helm of your ship, feeling the aliveness in your body, even when things are hard, even when your human has to do its human things and cry it out and get scared and have anxiety. It's like the creation energy is what keeps you consistently moving into the creative act of your life. And it, quite frankly, just keeps you fucking ecstatically alive. So I was really deepening into that, this huge new era of my work and those 2.5 weeks in the mountains in the winter in that tiny little village. And then after that, what's in this video is my time in the last little town here. So there was 3 main towns that I was exploring. The one where my friend lives, and then further down is this tiny little town, and then further down was also a small town but bigger. They have like one little strip and a really lovely community and local things going on and events, much more community oriented. Y'all, my time there is a whole other fucking thing. And that's what I'm showing you in this video is, yeah, my experience being there. So I got to stay in this beautiful old Victorian house with this epic, beautiful garden and a wood-fired sauna that was in the backyard. And you've probably seen that in the video. Yeah, so I could go in and light the sauna when it was really cold, and it was like a continuation of the creative incubation, but it was more outward facing. So I moved into a whole new launch within my business, and with this work, with this new focus, with creation energy, I moved into the first launch that I'd ever done. So I was creating a lot of content. I'm still actually in it right now, but there was this big turning point after I arrived to this particular town and this home where it was shifted more from the internal integration and like anchoring the frequency to really emitting the frequency. And if you've been following along, you know I ran a Telegram group for 2 weeks, 14 days straight, where I was just dropping epic transmissions of celestial strategy, of creation energy, of really like tapping us into the energy of 2026, which is why I called it Eat All of Life, because that's the fucking energy of this year. We are all being pushed to get right with our unique essence and really move towards whatever feeds our inner fires. Like, we're being fucking pushed out of the nest to eat all of life, no matter if there's a little bit of burn that gets involved. So I ran this 14-day telegram after I made this epic journey through the mountains to go back down to Denver to go to this book launch for one of my mentors, which is what totally like propelled me into this creation energy, to move into this launch at a whole other level. Because sometimes it's like, that was the growth edge for me. Like it was like a meta growth edge within a growth edge because I'm already in this growth edge of leaning into this unknown final quarter of this year-long soul pilgrimage, going to this, this area in Colorado that I don't know and just don't have all the steps in front of me. I don't know what the whole process is. I just see like right in front of me. I see what's going on the next 2 months, and then I'm just going to keep creating it. That is ecstatic living. And of course, the more and more that we build things, we build the structures, we build the systems, we build our businesses, we build our lives, we can have a more of a steady anchor that we're in, but we still have growth edges, and change happens, right? It's like you can be in a whole structure and system of your life, and then it's time for a new threshold. And that's what happened to me. I had all of that built in Peru. I poured my fucking heart and soul into, and then it turned out like that wasn't actually what I was meant to stay in. So that's why I launched out, and it's what birthed ecstatic living. So coming all the way back to being in this town and stepping into this next layer of not only anchoring the frequency of ecstatic living, but really admitting it at a whole new level and pushing myself into this, and not just pushing, it's like you get a pull. When the growth edge is there, it's actually pulling you, but you have to be the final one that's going to push yourself out of the nest to make yourself uncomfortable to take the risk and do it. So it was clearly pulling me, and then it came to the point where it was obvious I'm going to have to push myself out of the nest and do this. Yeah, so I've been in that whole launch since then, and basically what happened for me during that time of arriving to that town and connecting with the people that I connected in the process, it was like meeting a recreation of the life that I created in Peru, like to an eerie degree. And it's so fascinating and not surprising and endlessly magical. And this is why we fucking work with celestial strategy. It's so on theme for what my astrocartography lines in this place are here to activate in me. So it's like the whole reason I got called here was to have this experience in this place as a checkpoint. So when I was in Peru, it was a similar thing. It was like I had been in my life doing my thing, and then it was a big crossroads. And I didn't know what the next step was. And it was the first time that I really decided to like fully live on my soul, not just say that I'm an intuitive person, but then cram myself into a box for safety. It was like, no, I don't know what the next step is. I'm not going to force it, which means I got to get fucking uncomfortable with the unknown. I got to listen to my soul language and take it seriously. And I need to build this muscle to have faith in the fact that I am a creator and that I'm being guided by intelligences so much bigger than me all the time. That was my first big stretch. And so that's how I came to Peru. And I got there at the end of November, and it wasn't until June that I really started to anchor into a new life. So, and at that point, it was like at every stage of the new timeline that we go into, we are meeting more and more of where we are ready to evolve, to mature, to deepen and steady in the root of our beings. And so whatever, you come into a new chapter of your life, and then you're going to be met with all of the necessary mirrors to help you see the blind spots and create the perfect scenario for you to go through that evolutionary process of self-mastery. And so that's what happened for me in Peru on so many levels. I could talk about that for 10 years. We don't have time here. But what's so fascinating is that I arrived to this unexpected little town that I'd never even fucking heard of before Colorado came into my awareness, and I started to like poke around like, okay, what's going on here? Where should I go? Okay, this place popped up. And as it turned out, being on these lines, I'm on my IC lines, North Node, Neptune, and a little bit further off is Uranus. And so these IC lines are really about giving you an opportunity to peek under the hood at some of your most foundational programming. How is your nervous system? What are the emotional narratives that are running through your body, through your mind, like how that turns into a mental narrative in your mind? And it's this opportunity to see these things, because the more that we can see them, the more that we're actually coming home to our true selves, right? It's like that moment where you recognize, I am doing this thing because of something my mother always told me when I was a kid, and that's the perspective I've been carrying. And all of a sudden you have, like, you go to an IC line, you have this breakthrough moment where you're like, oh my God, that's not my truth. And then you decide to create differently. All of that creation energy comes back to yourself. You're not wasting it. It's not an energy leak. So these IC lines are incredible for self-mastery and meeting yourself really intimately on deeper and deeper levels in the subconscious and the ways that you are unconsciously wired. And God, I feel like I've done so much of that in my fucking life. It's like, it's amazing to come back to, to come to a place like this and like meet it at another level. But what was so profound about this time, and this is really the epicness of why I'm so inspired, I'm filming this right now, was so profound about this time is that I could actually see it all in real time. I didn't have to recreate the whole fucking scenario again. I didn't see it in Peru. I had started to see a lot by then, but it's kind of like, it's what I met was the deepest parts of self-sabotage, the deepest parts of these old programs that were running in my system. So while I had come online in so many ways, it was really like the heart of meeting the beast, meeting the dragon in my own underworld, in my own subconscious, and my own limiting beliefs. And that was on a Pluto line. So that goes deep as all hell, and it's a fucking wrecking ball. It is ego death, psychological death on every level. So it's so beautiful to have had that on a Pluto line, and then to come to my IC lines has been this. It's funny because this metaphor keeps coming up for me in the last 3 months, because this is so the soul language that's so strong in my particular chapter of life right now. Coming to my IC lines has really been anchoring myself as the copper rod that can circulate all the energy. I have a really strong Uranus signature in my life. That is lightning energy. Lightning energy is creation energy. It is Kundalini energy. It's that creative life force. It's like pure chaos, pure creative potential. And so it's really important for me. It's a big part of my North Node theme is to strengthen, to become the copper rod and strengthen the containment and the capacity to circulate that energy throughout my being, not projecting it out, not leaking it out, not resisting it, not squashing it, right? It's like to really fully fucking anchor creation energy and circulate and circulate and circulate, which means coming to an IC line is revealing anywhere where I previously would run into like a dead end or a ditch, and I would start repeating old cycles that were keeping me from really anchoring into this copper rod existence. And so coming here, it's insane. Like, I went on a date with a man. I met an elder couple that I was developing a relationship with. I felt really connected to aspects of how this community was sort of working together, what they were creating. It was all themes of Peru. If you don't know my story in Peru, it's the same thing. I partnered with a beautiful elder woman to come into a business that she had already created and blow it up to like exponential next level, at the same time that I got in a deep partnership with a beautiful man. So the three of us came together and built this whole thing that was all about working in community. And so I got to this place, and it was like incredible, like meeting this whole archetypal makeup. Remember, soul language again, to be able to actually see it from a new perspective, from a new lens. So while I had like similar things, similar emotions, similar desires, similar longings come up in my body and my being, and this familiarity, and the thing is all that was coming up, but I could recognize it. And I could also allow myself to fully feel it. Like, I didn't block myself from connecting with this elder couple, even though there were aspects of it that I was recognizing, like, oh, I don't want to relive that kind of dynamic again. And I didn't block myself from connecting with this beautiful man, because it was bringing up a lot of beautiful feelings, but there were also aspects of that dynamic that I was like, oh, I don't want to do that again. And the place too, even the community, the same thing. It was like I could appreciate and soak in what was there that was beautiful to me for the time that I was there. But I also recognized, like, I've been in something like this before, and I already learned it's not the right thing for me. That was my experience with community in Peru. So this whole thing of like, to be able to meet something of the past, but with lucidity, with full embodied presence, to let yourself feel all of the feelings of it, to feel the beauty and the truth, but also what can no longer come forward, what you have outgrown, and to not grasp onto it, because these are things that I deeply fucking desire. And I know that it's written in my soul's blueprint: land, community, sacred relationship, and intergenerational connection. Like, this is my whole North Node lineup is that. So to arrive into this and have all of these incredible feelings happen and my heart open on so many levels, like, old Cheyenne would have grasped on this like her fucking life depended on it, just like I did when I got to Peru. And then I would have had to relive the whole karmic repetition again. So to go into it and fully feel all that activated, but to actually just take it all back inside my being, that icy energy, to take it all back inside my being and just let all the activations circulate and feed my creative channel and put it into the structures I have built in my life that I know are here for the long term, that I know are sustainable, that I know are part of my legacy. That's my whole business, right? To take all that activation and put it where I know it's healthy and it's for my future, versus letting it leak outside of me, desperately wanting to experience the external reflection of what it is that I came here to experience. Holy fucking shit, y'all. It has been one of the most epic initiations of my life. But what I love about it is where initiations used to be like so intense, and you think like plant medicine ceremonies and moving to Peru and big, very Pluto influenced relationships where you're working out, shadow is coming up and all these things. It was so much quieter this time. So much, it was just grounded. Like, I'm human. We are beautiful cyclical humans. There's waves of energy and activation, and that's how life is supposed to be. That's part of the fucking ecstatic joy of being alive in a human body. But it's like my waves could be like this, where I was still anchored in myself, anchored in my business, anchored in what I am creating that has deep fucking roots in this lifetime. To let that stay my center while going into a potential karmic storm, and really it still was a karmic storm, but I didn't let it get to the drama and the chaos that we have to get to in order to arrive to this place where you are embodying as the motherfucking copper rod, and everything that life throws at you becomes pure creative potential that you use to circulate in your being and keep creating the fucking masterpiece of your life. You're unstoppable. That is the embodiment of sovereignty. You can be deeply connected, but you don't take on other people's shit. You don't project your shit onto anyone else's. You stay responsible for your own ecstatic, emotional, somatic, mental, spiritual journey. And then you just keep letting it all circulate in your own fucking system. Bam! Mic drop. I love you all.